Yo, y'all don't understand, bro. Wednesday I was asleep, right? I woke up in the middle of the morning ready for another day of Arsenal monitoring, searching, interested in, forming good relationships with, pursuing. Just 3 days ago, they was talking about as basically a done deal for Spurs. Savinho was possibly still in the works, and they already got kudos while we over here with Mr. Stutter Step run with his head down, still posted on the left wing. So I get out of bed, and it goes from bad to worse. They talking about Havertz hurt. Yo, bro, I swear to you, I went straight to the fridge and grabbed the bottle, bro. My liver was about to have a rough day. But finally, my club decided to be serious for once in its miserable, pathetic existence. Edu Gaspar, I curse you till the end of time. This dude had me thinking it'd take 30 years just to make one goddamn forward signing, bro. Over and over again. Oh, we're monitoring the situation. Just fucking do something. Yo, on God, if you scroll through Arsenal Twitter, you would think we signed Jesus Christ straight out the damn tomb on the third day. It's a 27-year-old from Crystal Palace. That's how much damage this club has done to us mentally. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, it's not that serious. Y'all are overreacting. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Y'all haven't been the ones dealing with these actual sloth brains. Last summer, these niggas baited for 3 months straight, and we ended up only getting Sterling. Raheem Sterling on loan at the end of the summer. I do not give one singular fuck what you have to say about us overreacting. And we took him from Spurs. Ain't nothing better than that. I rolled up, lit the spliff, and spent the whole afternoon scrolling through Spurs Twitter. It was glorious. I hope y'all enjoy Tyler Dibbling. Okay, let me relax. The whole Eze saga was just the latest of many twists and turns, though. It's probably been the most entertaining transfer window of the last few years, to be honest. First of all, Isak and Newcastle need couples therapy. We don't even fully know the whole truth in that situation. Isak is claiming he said a while ago that he wanted to leave Newcastle, and they had an agreement that he could leave. Newcastle came out and said, I don't know what he talking about. I never said that shit. Newcastle moving like a bitter ex that don't want to sign the divorce papers, bro. Isak basically saying, listen, y'all gotta let me go. If you don't, I'm just gonna sit out. Newcastle said, I guess you sitting out there. Newcastle been getting hoed this whole transfer window, bro. Wemo said, hell no. Cunha said, nah, I'm good. Pedro said, I'm straight. Ekitike hung up the phone. Sesko led them on and then dubbed them. Shit, they basically had Wisa wrapped up, and even he baiting them right now. At this point, they clinging on to Isak just to hold on to what's left of their self-respect. Liverpool offered almost 140 million euros or something like that for him, but Newcastle doesn't have a replacement, and that didn't meet their valuations, so now there's just this weird stalemate. Speaking of Liverpool, they must have found the end of the rainbow or something, because I ain't never seen them behave in this manner. They've dropped like 340 million euros this summer, and sure, after Eze, we've dropped around 300 million ourselves, but they were about to drop 138 million more on Isak, and they still want Mark Gahey too. That will be over 500 million, bro. Either they found a secret oil mine, or Slot got Harvey Elliott and the Academy boys selling crack in Liverpool back alleys. Nah, but seriously though, they have sold over 200 million euros worth of players, so their balance isn't too uneven. Matter of fact, our net spend is much worse because we ain't selling nobody. It's so crazy to me that our record sale is still Oxlade-Chamberlain after all the market inflation that's been going on. Omari Hutchinson just went for 43 million and we can't sell nobody at all for around that price. Are we dead ass? If anyone was to be sold, I'm not gonna lie, Martinelli, ma al-salama. I don't know if I said that right. I don't speak Arabic, but you will soon, my brother. Have that suitcase ready. City sneakily had one of the best transfer windows in the world, though. It didn't make as much noise just because everyone's used to City throwing around hundreds of millions anyway. But Reinders for 55 million and Shirky for 36 million are insane steals. Those two were absolute layups, bro. I've been said back in that video about entertainers that I didn't understand how more clubs weren't going for Shirky. He's a game-changing attacking talent. All that attitude problem nonsense is BS half the time. I was shocked that City got him for that cheap. Probably the biggest thing this transfer window showed, though, is that other leagues will probably never catch up to the Prem. The gap is only getting wider and wider and wider. From top to bottom, it's not close. There's quite literally only a handful of clubs outside England that can spend like even the brokest Premier League club. This transfer window was one big band for band, and the rest of Europe got washed badly. Out of the top 10 highest spending clubs, only 2 are outside the Prem, and it's the Madrid clubs. Forest outspent Madrid, bruh. Forest. Shit, Sunderland just got promoted again. They just got here and they chucking around almost 200 million, bro. Most of the non-Prem teams in the top 20 spending here at least have crazy sale numbers too. Leverkusen has over 220 million in sales. Atalanta has over 100 million. Milan has over 160 million. Leipzig has just under 100 million. Napoli over 125 million. but Prem teams can generally just spend more without having to make as many sales. United, Arsenal, City, Sunderland, Burnley, and Tottenham have all spent insane amounts while having less than 60 million in sales. With the current FFP rules, especially La Liga's, this is never really going to even out. That's why you have Barcelona, who isn't even broke anymore, but they still can't even pay 25 million for Dumfries. Even clubs like Bayern are penny pinching, while Chelsea, United, Liverpool, and Arsenal are just tossing money around. The Prem has a massive advantage due to revenue under the current rules, so there's not much that can really be done. The Prem's total spending this summer is close to 2.5 billion, and the window isn't even over yet. They've destroyed the old record from 2023. The Serie A is at slightly over a billion. The Bundesliga is only at just under 700 million. Ligue 1 is around a miserable number of 500 million total. Only 2 clubs have spent over 100 million in that league. PSG and Strasbourg, who are 2 of the 4 Ligue 1 clubs with billionaire owners. The worst of the worst is La Liga, though. I'm sorry, their overly strict spending rules are killing their league as the years go by. Like Ligue 1, they also have only spent slightly over 500 million total, but if you factor in sales, their net spend is 3 million. 3 million, bro. The Prem's net spend is around a billion. It's getting ugly out here. I don't know, bruh. Anyways, yeah, this window's been all over the place. Liverpool fans spent weeks calling for Trent's head after he left for Madrid. That was hilarious, not gonna lie. And shit was funny no more after we signed Madueke, though. I have never seen a collective uproar as loud as that. The entire online Arsenal presence genuinely lost their minds. Looking back now that we got Eze anyway, it's not as bad, but I was steaming, I ain't gonna lie. Originally, it looked like Arsenal was getting Sesko, but him and Leipzig were being weirdos, so we just left them alone and went for Gyökeres. Then Sporting started being bitchy too, and it took like 2 weeks to get that done. Sesko played the Bachelor with United and Newcastle before picking United. Chelsea went on their usual spending spree and got Pedro, Gittins, Estevao, Delap, and Hato. Estevao looks promising, and Hato is good, I'm gonna be real. Gittins is raw as hell, though. As a player, he needs a lot of maturing, especially when it comes to finishing and decision-making. I also remember mentioning that in the Entertainer video. Atletico has actually spent quite a bit of money when you look at it. They bought Alex Baina, David Hanko, Johnny Cardoso, Raspadori, and Thiago Almada, along with a few others. No real superstars, but they'll have a somewhat sturdy squad, I guess. I don't see them doing much, I'm not gonna lie. The main theme of this summer is pretty much the Prem flexing on everybody else, and Newcastle and Spurs getting bitched at every angle. Tottenham not as bad because they managed to get Kudus at least, but they fumbled the Gibbs White deal, and then we pulled off the heist of the decade on their head. How did your club do this transfer window? Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna catch y'all next time.